Hello to my fellow survivors. How you guys doing today? I'm doing good, you guys. I'm just in the middle of moving, so I've been so tired. I'm so tired, but that's not gonna stop me from getting these messages out. So I decided to come on here and give you guys a message. So today's message is going to be about how to not let the kids stop you from your healing journey. Yes, so I know that when it comes to kids, that can be kind of like a tricky, touchy subject because, that's just how it is when it comes to kids, and I don't want to come across as harsh, like I don't care about the best interests of the kids, and it also depends on the situation. Not every situation is the same. So I'm gonna touch on the situations where I feel like you cannot let the kids stop you from your healing journey. And when I say the kids, I don't mean like the kids themselves. I mean like the fact that you have kids with a narcissist, because they will use that. And when it comes to healing from the abuse, you have to heal at all means necessary. You cannot let anything stop you from healing, because it is important for you to gain your strength back, your confidence back, just your life back, period, because you have been very mentally drained to the point where you're not even yourself anymore. And that is a serious thing, you guys. You're going to have to function. So you cannot let the fact that you have children by a narcissist stop you from healing. So we're going to get into that. And if you want to hear about this mess, you already know what to do. Stay tuned. Okay, so like I was saying, there's different situations. Not every situation is the same. But there is some situations where you have kids by narcissists that may have discarded you with the kids. And then when you're off to wherever they left you at, and you are so mentally drained where you can't even function, and they left you with their kids, knowing that you can barely function because you were distraught, and you're gonna have to run for the hills. Okay, you're gonna have to run for the hills. And the reason why I say run from the hills is because even after you get discarded, the communication that you have with the narcissist is still draining you, because it's not proper communication. I'm just going to use me as an example. The communication when I was still in contact with my ex, the communication was very, very toxic. It was still, it was just toxic, still with no compromising, nothing, just nothing. It just wasn't anything that was for the best interest of the children. It just wasn't, I wasn't communicating with someone that cared for the kids. I just feel like I needed to go no contact for myself so I can heal from that. I felt bad because I don't want to get emotional, but I did feel bad because I have always been a believer of children having both their parents. That is me. That's who I am. I believe in that 100%. I never in a million years thought that I would be in a situation and that my children would be away from their father. I wanted my kids to have both of their parents and grow up in a 2-parent household. That was like my dream. I did not know this was going to happen to me. So, so I definitely believe in having the father in the child's life for sure. But I knew that it wasn't in my children's best interest, because I feel like if you care a lot about your children, you should care about their caregiver. There's been times when I told my ex, I can barely, I'm hurting. I can barely take care of your children. You know, this is even when we were in a home. I would tell him, you know, this stuff that's going on is making it very hard for me to even take care of our children. And he did not care. You know, he still continued with his behavior. And I know that they said, well, he wasn't physically harming the children, but I feel like if the caregiver is telling you that it's hard for her to even take care of the children, you caring about the children, you should take that in consideration. You know, you're sitting back seeing how you're leaving somebody in such a distraught state, somebody that is becoming mentally unstable. And I would never harm my children, no, but it's just like, I don't know if anybody knows how it feels to be drained to just to the point of no return. It's not a good feeling. You feel like you can't even get up. Like there's times you don't even want to get out of bed. So those days when you don't even want to get out of bed and you have 3 children, small children, that can't function without you, that is not good. That is not good. You have to have some type of, you know, of course I would get myself up and do what I have to do, but when I did it, I was pushing myself because I was so emotionally drained. I had to get away. I had to run from the hills. I had to get away from him. I had to go no contact with him. I had no other choice. I couldn't stay in that toxic communication with him. Even when I was away from him, I couldn't do that because he was still draining me for me. Yeah, so any communication with the narcissist, it's just not good. It's just not good. So that's why I say don't let the kids stop you. Because say if I was still in that mindset, I was like, well, it's the kids, you know. I'm not gonna go no contact because I got his kids. I was still being that toxic cycle with him because that's not co-parenting. What was going on between me and him wasn't nothing co-parenting about that. That was just toxic communication. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna put all my business out there, but there's times when, you know, my ex was trying to stop like income for me that I use to take care of the children. There's been times when, I mean, the way he left me, you know, I was a stay-at-home mom, like I always say. I didn't really have like money. I was like, I took care of the house. I was a homemaker, and my husband was, he was the one that was, you know, the breadwinner or whatever. So when he left me, he knew that I didn't have any money, you know. So I had to like, and I'm still trying to pick myself up, but like, you left me like that with 3 children. And so I just feel like even in just the way that they do things, it's just so suddenly, like, you know, if you want to, it's not against the law to want to separate from your partner, no, but I feel like in our situation, if I, you know, there's a proper, decent way to do something. You know, if you felt like you didn't want to be with somebody, you can sit them down and say, you know, this isn't working. Let's come up with a plan because we do have children together. You know, so let's come up with a plan so that our children would be still okay. You know, but you don't just throw your family away and then expect to still be looked at as a great father and still expect to me when you just threw us away, like throw your family away, that is not love. And I had to get away from that. That's just a toxic person. That is not somebody that, I don't even like saying this, but I'm just gonna say it. It's my opinion. That's not somebody that cares for their children. That's not somebody that cares for their children. Hey guys, so it is the next morning. I know, and sometimes in my videos I go from like one day to another, but that's because I do get busy. So it is the next morning. I'm actually packing up because I'm getting ready to move. But you know me, I want to get the message out. So I know in previous footage I was talking about how I did have to get away from the toxic communication. And I just want to let you guys know, sometimes in certain situations, you can't let the kids keep you in toxic communication, because if you're left with the kids as the primary caregiver, you have to properly take care of those children. And if somebody is just keeping you in a toxic cycle, toxic communication, don't care about your mental, you have to properly take care of the children. You are the caregiver, and it's hard to take care of, especially toddlers, when you are mentally drained. You have to build yourself up. You have to heal. You have to gain your strength and your energy back. And sometimes it's hard to do that in toxic communication with a narcissist, because if you look up the word narcissist, it's very simple in the dictionary. It's just a person that lacks empathy. They don't have any empathy. It's like they don't know how to show any remorse. They don't know how to show any compassion. They really don't put themselves in anybody's shoes. So you can look at them drained and be like, I need you. I'm sorry, my children are up. You can tell them all of this. You can beg them, please, I need you to let up on me. I'm trying to take care of our children, and they wouldn't budge, okay? They don't know how to show any empathy. So they leave you no choice but to go no contact with them. And I remember, I've been wanting to talk about this story too. The couple on Love and Hip Hop. I know this is off subject, but I just remember her. She had a clip when she was begged. It's Erica Mena and Safari. I've been wanting to talk about them because he is a narcissist, and she is a victim. And I can just tell every time I see a clip of the woman, she crying. And one thing I remember seeing her say to him, she was like, please stop hurting me. I'm taking care of our children. She was begging him, stop it. I need you to stop. She looked skinny. She looked drained to capacity. And I felt her, because I know how it feels like. I know what it feels like. I just wish that she knew that she needs to go no contact. She needs to take them children, and she needs to run for the hills. And she needs to change her phone number, and she needs to leave him alone. That's what she needs to do to heal, because he is draining the woman. But yeah, she said, she was like, please stop it. I'm taking care of our children. I need you to stop. And he sat there with a blank stare on his face and said nothing to her. How could you properly co-parent with somebody like that? That's impossible. So yes, I know a lot of people probably won't look at Erica Mena as a victim, because she's very, she's pretty feisty. She has a little bit of a temper. But if you really pay attention to why she's always yelling, it always got something to do with some type of love triangle, or she's just always fighting because somebody done did something to her. I mean, I'm not saying she's perfect, and but I feel like she's an empath. That's my opinion, and I think that's a priority as a narcissist. I really do, because I don't know. I guess when you've been through it, you can just kind of tell certain patterns. But I just think Erica Mena is a woman that seriously needs to heal, and she just needs to give herself a break. That's just my opinion. But off that subject, yes, it's hard to co-parent with an narc. It really is, because they're so, like I tell you guys, they're devious, and it's like they have a love-hate relationship with you. It's like, even when you guys separate and they discard you, their number one mission is to still destroy you and to still hurt you. And it's like, the mind of these people is very hard to deal with. It really is. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like they're in need of some serious, help. And then you being in their web, you're in need of some serious help. And when kids are involved, it makes it very tricky. For me, I had to gain my strength back. Like, I'm not saying I would never communicate with him again or anything like that, but I needed time to heal from him. So when it is time for me to communicate with him again, I'm going to be a whole different person. He ain't going to be able to drain my energy, because that shit's going to get cut off with the quickness. I'm not going to be that same woman that he left. I am going to be a different being, and I'm going to know how to communicate with him and tell him where the hell he can go with that bullshit. So that you have to give yourself time to get to that space, so that they can't mess with you, they can't brain fuck you anymore, because you done built your brain up. You got to build your brain up, and that takes time, and that takes time away from them. Okay, and another really important thing to keep in mind is that a narcissist, they don't know how to turn their narcissism off for the sake of the children. It's like they bring the kids in the drama, and I hate that I even have to say this, but there's been times when me and my ex will argue, and my kids are little, but he will still say things like, what he used to say? He used to be like, see how your mama is? He'll tell my oldest son, which is only 5, like he understood what he was saying. He'll be like, don't get a woman like that. Don't get a woman like that. Like, that's not good to say that to a child, because that's like turning the child against the mom, even though my child is young, but he did it to taunt me. But they would, like, I don't know, my ex did things like that. It's like he didn't know how to turn narcissism off just for the sake of the children. He knew he was taunting me, and like that, in my reaction, me yelling because I am drained and trying to defend myself, he tells my child, don't get a woman like your mother. There's just very, very devious people that need some serious help, counseling, and it's very, very hard to co-parent with someone like that. So that's why I say that it's very hard. It's very important to get some type of healing process from all the toxicity that you've been through, the PTSD that your brain is going through, being mentally drained. Those are really serious things, and it's really hard on your body. Very, very hard on your body. And your body is in survivor mode. So once you have been divinely guided out of that relationship, your brain is still on survivor mode, and it's going to take time for your brain to come back down to just being normal, out of from being in survivor mode for such a long period of time. So I'm going to end the video on that. It's just something to think about. It's just something to think about, you guys. I know my house is very loud because I'm in the middle of moving, but I just want to get this video out and finish it. But I love all my survivors, and like I always say, y'all will come back. I'm sorry about that. But while life takes its course, I always remember to just breathe.